So I pulled you guys back here because I want to talk a little bit more about this research that you're doing. Okay? And so when you're researching, what kinds of things are you using to find information? Where are you getting information from? Are you just typing your question into Google? Okay, what are you doing differently?
We get it off of like these researchers like Epic or like Nat Geo.
Okay, those are good trustworthy sites. What else did we do today? Books. Okay, so did you just find any book?
Nope.
Or did you, Adrian, what did you do then?
Oh, you put this thing in the research and then you put your topic.
Okay, so yours is a good example because you are doing things about the intelligence of dogs, right? So there's lots of books about dogs. Did you check them all out?
I got more ideas.
What did you do though to decide which ones to check out?
I looked at them.
For what? Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about that. You know how Mr. Pinter showed you his sample notes today about the Statue of Liberty? And he put the source under each one, so he had used multiple sources, right? Okay, so today we're going to practice this and how this relates to your note taking. So Belle, I see you have some note taking there. How's it going? How are you organizing those notes right now?
I'm just trying to do like little like paragraphs, I guess, about like a subject.
Okay, so how did you decide your subtopic?
I was looking for books in the library, and yesterday, like, the biggest thing, like, that everyone's bringing up about bees, like honeybees, is how they're, like, dying out.
Oh, so you found some books. There's a couple books I know, like The Case of the Vanishing Honeybees. Did you get that one?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But so books, I think today you guys did a good job. And we talk about this thing called orienting. So when you go to pick a book or you get a book, some of the things we do is we look at the front cover, we look at the back cover, right? And we do that so we kind of have a feel for what this book is going to be about. A lot of times we read the back cover.
We see the pictures.
Right. First of all, we decide, is this going to be a story or is this going to be informational? Why is that important to really think about that first? Are you looking for the same things in informational text as you are narrative text? A story or a novel? What do novels have?
Characters.
Good, thank you. What else?
Fake stuff.
Okay, fiction. Do informational books have characters?
No.
No. So they're set up differently, right? Informational text is organized in a certain way. It has a text structure. Okay? So what I'm noticing is that you guys are really good at orienting yourself to this kind of book to see what it's going to be about. But maybe we need to work some more on orienting ourselves to informational text. So some of you just did this in the library. What would I do when I pick up a book like this?
Flip to some pages.
What would I look for?
What you're trying to look for.
Is the title important?
Yeah.
What about the subtitle? Is that going to help me figure out? I see it's about football, but what about football?
How they get hurt.
So this book is not about football teams necessarily. It's about injuries and concussions, right? So if you're doing your project on like football helmets and how they've gotten better, would this book help you?
Kind of.
Probably, right? Okay, so we also have usually an informational text. How do we know what's going to be in it?
The contents.
Did you guys look at the table of contents in some of the books you looked at in the library today? Some did, some didn't. Well, if you didn't, how would that have helped you?
You would have checked if you had what you wanted.
What do you think? It's going to give me an idea if this book's even going to help with my project topic, right? Okay. So So I want to take that a little bit further. Okay? Most of the things you're reading are online, right? You do have some books now, but most of your information is coming from online. So when you're taking notes, and I'm kind of looking at Belle, she said she was kind of just organizing the facts by subtopics. And that's a great idea, but how do you know what your subtopics are? So what I wanted to show you today is when I click on an article, you know how Mr. Pinter put that whole list of text sets in your Google Classroom, and you could just click on an article or click on a video. Well, do you take time to see what the article is going to teach us about sharks or honeybees, or do you just start reading?
Start reading.
Okay. Now, why might that not be the best plan?
Because maybe you won't know what you're reading.
Yeah. So what I'm kind of saying is, do any of you play video games, right? So this is perfect comparison. Do you know what Candy Crush is?
Yeah.
It's really popular. You guys probably don't play it, but old people do like me sometimes. But if I'm playing Candy Crush or any video game, and you know I have to master a level, if I don't know what I have to do to master that level, I'm probably not going to master it the first couple times I try, right? I have to look at the top and see what my goal is. I have to set myself up for success. And so you have to do the same thing when you're reading. And this even applies to when you're taking doing those things online, like the Sunrising we did the other day with the Vietnam War Memorial, or when you're taking an online test like we're going to, in April we do every year. You have to think, is this fiction or nonfiction? And how is it set up? What things should I be looking for as I'm reading? So let me show you how I do that, okay? The first thing we're going to do, I have 3 steps to help us out. You with me? First thing we're going to do is preview the entire text. Well, I see this picture. I see it's about great white sharks. That doesn't tell me much. What about great white sharks, right? So as I scroll through, I see it says overview. There could be a lot of different information in here, right? Then I scroll down, I see there's like some scientific information, family name, etc., etc. And then there's all different types of sharks I can click on here. So what am I going to do with this? There's not a lot of text, just an overview. Do you think this is the best article to use if I'm researching great white sharks?
No.
Why not?
But it has a little bit.
Okay. So I previewed the text, now what am I going to do? Move on, right? Okay, so let me find another article to show you how this will work. Alright, so obviously the first thing that grabs our attention is the picture, right?
Yep.
So step 1, we're going to preview the entire text. Step 2 is we're going to think about the text structure. So you told Mr. Pinter earlier, when I preview, I look at the headings, and I look at the pictures. If there's captions, I look at those. So let's start that. Why are we so afraid of sharks? There's a scientific explanation. So when I see here, it says, why are people afraid of sharks?
Because they bite you.
That's a theory, but this might have some more in-depth information. Okay, scroll down. Where did the fear come from? Sharks still seem pretty scary. What are the chances they could kill me? And then it tells you like the very small chance that you'd ever be attacked by a shark. You're more likely to be killed in a car crash or struck by lightning than to be bitten by a shark.
Or a natural disaster.
Yeah. And then the last one is, okay, but what can I do to fight my fear of sharks? So talk with your partners, so U2B partners and U2B partners. If step 2 is think about the text structure, how the author organized this information, think about those headings and what we already know about this article that's going to help us figure out what information we should get from it and how we might organize our notes, okay? So you two just talk to each other about how is the author organizing this information, and you two talk to each other.
They're organizing it by
Subheadings. They're organizing the text by like the
headings, the
most
subheadings, and that's how they organize it. Because if you don't organize it, it will be messy and you won't know.
Think about some of the text structures you talked about earlier today. Look at my little pictures to help. Are we comparing sharks to another animal?
No.
Or are we talking about causes and effects?
Organizes the task from the most important to the least.
Or are we talking about problem solution? Chronological order? Girls, look at this for help. Were we comparing, was the author comparing the shark to another animal just from our headings? Do you think we might be talking about causes and effects? Problem solution? Chronological?
The effect, because it said like, what are the effects of killing me?
Okay. So, now we're going to take this to the next step. How does this relate to your own research you're doing? Talia, you're doing sea turtles, right? So every article you find is not going to just be sea turtles live here. Sea turtles do this to hatch their eggs. Sea turtles are endangered by. Some articles are going to be like, how did they save this sea turtle from being trapped in a net, right? Or something like that.
Smashed by a Jeep.
Okay. So when you preview a text, that's going to help your brain think about what information you should be getting from this article. And then you're going to think about your notes. So most of you said this was cause and effect. We knew the effect was people are so afraid of sharks, right? So I know that article I showed you is going to give me causes
Why we're afraid of
why
them.
we're afraid of sharks. So those things should be in my notes. Does that make sense? Okay. So now I want you to pull up one of your articles you're working on for your topic, and I am going to kind of work with each of you, and you're going to show me how you do this process. How you preview the article, think about the text structure the author is using so it can help you organize your notes. Okay? I'm going to put this up here so you can kind of go back to it. Can you see it okay, Jaden? Can you see that sheet okay? You have an article up? Okay, so let's look at it. Look at it with me. What are you going to do first?
Scroll down.
What's that called?
What that
No, what are you doing?
preview the entire
Okay.
text.
So show me how to do it, how you would do it. Okay, so what are some headings you see?
Parents
Okay.
or organs,
Origins.
lives, and skills.
Oh, so how do you think the author is organizing the information in this article?
By
This one's not necessarily on here, but it feels like the author's just kind of picking a heading and then giving us information on that heading, right? So that would be like description, describing different characteristics about the dogs. Yeah. So how might you organize your notes so that you know you get the important information from this article? What might that look like? You know, I did this one, cause and effect, from the sharks, but yours isn't cause and effect. So how would your notes look for that?
oh no,
What are some things you've used in the past? Some ways to organize your notes?
my heading that I use.
Oh, so the headings would be like maybe the box, and then the bullets would be the facts underneath it.
Yeah.
So like a boxes and bullets. So take this back to your seat and make that boxes and bullets. Now what's gonna go in the boxes?
The heading from that.
Okay, go do it before you forget. Jaden, do you have one up? Alright. And what did you notice about this one?
I'm on the amazing stuff.
Okay, did you preview the entire text?
That sounds beautiful.
Oh. But is it okay to go back and preview the entire text to kind of set yourself up for what the whole article is going to teach you? Can we do that? Huh? Sure. Well, I think it's beneficial because then you kind of know where it's going. You kind of know the roadmap. Does that make sense? Do you have notes already from this article? Why don't you go get those? Alright. Belle, talk to me about what you're working on.
So when you brought up like why people are so afraid of the sharks, I thought like why are people afraid of bees?
Oh, great connection.
So there's this, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like it's bee and then phobia. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. Like the phobia, the scientific name for it. Okay. Apophobia.
It's people are like so afraid because because they know like what they're capable of like to sting, but like they don't know like what they actually do. Like most of the time, like they do more than just like make honey for you or something. Like they keep the plants and stuff alive.
So what I hear you saying is two different things. Like first you might work on the cause and effect of why people are so frightened. But then you're going to work on kind of explaining why they're so important, even though a sting does hurt, but they're so important for other reasons, right? Okay, so with that, I'm also thinking if the bees are going extinct, that kind of could turn into problem solution too, right? Based on whatever book or article you're reading. Okay. What about you, Talia?